What's going on, everybody? Stubbs here from Retro Handhelds with my buddy Aish at the co-hosting wheel today.
Hey,
we are going to take a look at the 35XX Plus live chat. I hope you're doing great. We're doing a little bit later tonight because today's not my normal streaming day. So, you know, being a parent, having responsibilities. You ever have those adult responsibilities? You're like, man, I wish I was 15 again, just playing Star Ocean through the summer.
Oh, those were the days, man. We didn't know how good we had it.
We didn't know how good we had it. Why
did not?
We should have appreciated it more.
Yeah. Blink 182 on the radio. Just playing a video game.
What's my age
good
again?
Good times, man. Yeah. Oh, man. Good times.
Lots of stuff going on. We got the Steam Deck OLED video, the screen comparison. We've got, what else do we have? The Neo Mini PC video, PlayStation Portal.
Got the 35XX Plus review coming.
35XX Plus. Oh wait, that's this live stream. Let's not delay any longer. So I got the DMG one, and Aish, what do you got there?
I've got the clear black, which is my second favorite one right here.
This looks great, by the way, but
yeah. See, this is my second favorite one because I already had the original in this color scheme. So
so now you wanted.
Just wanted to switch it up a little bit, you know.
Are those glossy face buttons, by the way?
They are.
I always wondered that on that model.
Yes, they are.
Shoot. You know what? Yep. That saves me the trouble of buying that one then.
Yeah. They're just like the buttons the RG405M had. The exact same ones, just a little bit smaller, but they feel exactly the same.
Really?
I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm okay with it.
Well, okay. I mean, that's fair. Yeah. And that, I mean, it looks, how's the plastic on it? Is it grainy?
Good.
Is it
on the shell itself? Yeah, it's a little grainy. I like it. It doesn't feel slippery. No fingerprints, which is nice. The screen though, just don't touch the screen at all. But the shell itself feels really good.
Yeah.
Oh. See, there's some texture there. I don't know if the camera can actually catch that, but yeah.
I think I like that one better than the DMG, but dude, it's so close. Fair. Well, if you want to see what's in this box. It has a screen protector, which I've already applied before the stream. Shh. It's supposed to be a secret. The instruction manual, usual fare. This had 128 gigabyte generic SD card in it, as well as a charge cord, USB-C to USB-A. The usual stuff. I'm liking their boxing lately, Doug. I like the packaging, just like the gold touches on this.
Which I can appreciate that.
I can appreciate it, but if that's what it took, you know, to feel more plus, I would say it's not worth the money. So people want to know what does make it worth the money. Well, this one has now Wi-Fi. It has Bluetooth. It has an H700 processor, which is a new chip for us. And that's always exciting. It's not a new chip in itself, but it's a new chip to us.
Yep. And
3,300 milliamp hour battery in this bad boy.
Beautiful.
1 gig of RAM. And it has a GPU that's a dual-core GPU, the same one that we've seen in some other 3326 chips. What else? We got a 64 gig SD card for the first slot, and then Bluetooth. This came with the 128. Of course, the Bluetooth 4.2, I think.
I think so, yeah.
And then Wi-Fi 5.
You know, I'm not sure about that one because I couldn't pick up my 5G network. I could only find the 2.4. So I'm not sure what was going on there. Maybe it's my signal or maybe just a Wi-Fi card in it isn't that powerful because I'm not that close to my router. So it could be one of those things. Also, note on the Bluetooth, currently it's only working for controllers. So you can't use Bluetooth headphones on it.
Yeah, I ran into that issue myself. The other thing I want to talk about, the Wi-Fi worked, but the retro achievement system doesn't appear to work right now, at least not with the games that come with it. So we do want to load on our own games, hopefully during the stream, at least 1 or 2, so we can confirm if achievements are possible. The options there in RetroArch, but there's no configuration options to set up, you know, hardcore mode, or if you want verbose mode, any of the customizations for RA is not there. PPSSPP standalone is on here, which also has retro achievements, which has got me very excited. I'm like, yes, finally, this is like everything I wanted about the 35XX, but with achievements. Unfortunately, you can't enter any keys or numbers on that screen in PPSSPP, and there's no touchscreen. So I believe unless you can configure it on some custom INI file, that we're locked out of Achievos on PSP, unless you want to run PPSSPP in RetroArch.
Yeah, which I wouldn't really recommend that much. I was actually a little worried.
I tried it. It worked actually pretty decently on here with frame skip though.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just feel like the experience won't be as good just because of the RetroArch core isn't as good as a standalone. Yeah. But I was worried at first when I saw that because I went into PSP and I saw immediately, oh man, this is RetroArch. But then I remembered I'm in the RetroArch section, so it's nice to see that there. Jurassic threw me off though, because I was expecting a DS core, and it's the standalone Jurassic emulator for some reason in the RetroArch side. So that's a little bit weird. Yeah.
Really? Okay, I didn't check DS, so I'm glad both of us are doing this. So we both got our units today. Let's get into some impressions of this bad boy. I mean, it's the exact same footprint and size as the 35XX, by the way. Yeah, it's a little thicker, but that's it. It's the same as far as dimensions go. Going to be the same up and down. You've this what appears to be the same buttons, and we should do a check on the sizing. But I wonder if a lot of the custom 3D printed stuff is going to just drop in and work here. As Seraph pointed out, you have the menu button, which is slightly higher, and that's how you can really tell the difference from the naked eye. As well as start and select appear to be just slightly ajar. But
they seem to be a little lowered too.
A little bit lowered, yeah. So they're very minor differences. You can see here it's the same. We have volume up and down, but they changed the design a little bit. Same I/O on the bottom, headphone out, a DC charging port, which by the way is finicky depending on what you plug it into. Make sure you have a USB-C to USB-A cable available that comes with it. I would just use that one. And fast charging, it can be hit or miss. So it's not going to charge on every one of your chargers, I've noticed. HDMI out up top, and then 2 indicator lights. This side, of course, the same exact spacing and placement of power, reset, my 2 micro SD card slots. And here's my favorite change, 2 of my favorite changes. Not only did they adopt this better button layout, which, do you recognize this unit? Remember this one?
Yes.
This is your old one.
Yep.
And it was an upside down Anbernic sticker, but I put a little Game Boy one on there. I love this unit. This has the nice sloped, ergonomically placed buttons, and Anbernic has kind of adopted that style now. And I love that they're doing this. And I also love that they've made the battery easier to access here. So you can just get yourself a Phillips head screwdriver right there and just pop this out, 1 screw, and you get access to that 3,300 milliamp hour battery, which is a big improvement because this started out on a 2,100 milliamp hour battery on day one. And now they did a silent refresh later on where they swapped it to, I think, a 2,600 is what they're up to on these. You can put in up to 2,800, but this blows it out of the water at 3,300 milliamp hours. We always wanted the 35XX, but with a longer battery life. Guess what? In the Plus, we've got it. I want to take a look at the battery. But other than that, it's pretty minimal. You get the Anbernic logo back here. If you want to take a better look at the wattage, rating 5 volts, 7.5 watt hours, 3.8 volts, 3,300 milliamp hours. I just love that big of a battery is in here now. It's going to be good. The screen is, I believe, identical. I believe the exact same screen. You can see I put the screen protector on so you get a little bit of a bezel. I don't like that they get protectors for this that are so dang small because you have all this extra room around the sides. So I'd like that to be a little bigger.
I'm seeing a difference here. The 35XX, the original DMG model, had a gray bezel, whereas the new one has an all black one, which I prefer.
Yeah.
Looks
wait a minute. Oh, you're right. Okay. Yep. See, as far as buttons go, I mean, they feel this isn't a fair comparison because these aren't stock. But Aish, do you have yours? Maybe
I do.
Switch to your feed.
I do them right here. So right here, I actually just measured the buttons and the D-pad and everything. They're all the exact same size. It actually looks like it's the same D-pad. It's just it's a little bit rounder. So we get this close to the camera. As you can see here, the edges are a little bit sharper here. They're a little rounder on this one, but the size is the exact same. So it looks like it was just that one change. Plastic looks like they changed that too. And it's a little bit thinner. I don't know if you can tell there.
Yeah.
That's it. The buttons, though, they're the exact same size.
What do you think of the feel of the buttons?
They feel different. So on these, the original ones, they're a little bit flatter.
Yeah.
So they're smooth but flat. These have a little bit more of a bump. So they stick out a little bit more. Kind of hard to tell over there on camera, but yeah, once you actually feel them, It's very subtle, but yeah, it's a difference. When you're actually holding them and you're touching them, you can feel the difference.
Well, I noticed that this just feels a bit better from the original, as far as like the springiness and that. Like it's a little more pleasurable, I would say, to depress. The D-pad, though, the first thing I noticed about this when I took out of the box is the D-pad has a really nice pivot now.
Yeah,
it's like soft.
The D-pad is tighter.
It's like the but not loose. Like this is soft, but this is very loose on the Miyoo Mini Plus. This is, in fact, almost out of control loose. Like this is, I'm concerned.
The new D-pad is a little bit taller than the original D-pad, and it doesn't feel as flat. So the original one felt very flat. There was just no, you know how some D-pads have that little bit of an edge towards the edges. Excuse that redundancy, but yeah, that's very subtle differences, but good ones. But yeah, it's noticeable. The buttons feel tighter. The D-pad feels tighter. There's the original ones didn't feel like mushy, but this one just feels less of that. If that makes sense.
It does. And I mean, I don't know. It's just I mean, take a look at this.
Really, it's the upgrade we all wanted for the 35XX. But this is kind of Anbernic's new D-pad style. Yeah, you're right. This does feel a little bit softer.
New D-pad style.
Oh yeah.
But we already looked at specs. The pricing on this, unfortunately, now is up to full pricing, which is only $6 more than the pre-order pricing. So it's $64 now plus shipping. Links are in our description if you do want to pick this up. There are 3 different colorways. There is the DMG, there is the black model that Aish has, and then there is a white model that has the same buttons on the transparent black. So you already saw that one. There's no joystick, of course, so while it does play in 64 because it has that faster chip, and the chip in this, by the way, is the most performant in its price category, if I'm understanding correctly, because the only device that comes close to this is the XU10, and the XU10 is even a little bit less performant and even a little bit more expensive. And below that, the next closest thing is going to be something like the R35S right here, or the R36S.
Which there's nothing wrong with an RK35. 3326.
No,
there's too many.
It plays up to PSP, Dreamcast, and 64, just like the 35XX Plus here does, except it's not going to hit as high of frame rates. So, and another one being, of course, Tiger Boy here, 3326. And we don't really need to do too many size comparisons. All this I noticed is a similar thickness. The plastic on this is a little more matte this time, even more so than before. If we want to look at a smaller option that's even smaller than this, of course, the original Miyoo Mini.
Little dude.
Little guy. These are great, but very pocketable. But these back buttons are just so tough to use. And so, again, switching to this style is ideal. And then as far as like accessories and things like that, this did come with the standard 35XX case. So it's going to be molded and form-fitted. In fact, it might be slightly different because of the back. But this is... You know what? No, this is the same case because it kind of wobbles in the case. They just didn't... Well, saves money, I suppose. But so it's the same case. You can get this also on the Anbernic store directly, or you can buy it from AliExpress. Both are in our description. I believe the case is less than $10.
Somebody was asking how the back buttons feel. They feel pretty good. They still have that soft click. So you can, let me put it up to the mic. I don't know if it'll catch. I don't know, chat.
Simply exquisite. This is nice though. Like it tastes like plastic. Are you doing a shake test?
I'm doing a little shake test.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a shake in there.
There's a little, nothing bad. But also the back button sound, because somebody was asking about it. I don't know if the mic is gonna catch that, but it's a soft click. It's still, you can hear it, so it's not gonna be a quiet.
It is a softer.
Yeah, but it's softer click. It's not
how loud the click was on the old. Do you have an OG one with the OG back buttons?
No, I have the better buttons.
Yeah. You know what? I have one. I have one here. Hold on.
We're transitioning into an ASMR live stream, by the way.
Oh yeah. Okay, here's the back button. So that's the OG, definitely louder, and then here is the Plus. So it's a quiet, softer clicky. So on the OS here, it's minimal. I don't have any major complaints. We were going to show off Garlic 2.0 on the stream, but Aish and I could not figure out a way to get it to boot. And Aish, do you want to explain more about that for a second?
Yeah, I was having some issues with my SD card, so this is completely a user error. This isn't really on Garlic's side.
We've seen others loaded on.
Yeah, so I will keep in mind that I only had maybe like an hour before the live stream to really sit down and mess with this because we had to set up for everything. So afterwards, I'm going to spend some more time with it. We're going to have a guide for anybody that wants to use it. But here's the thing, Garlic 2.0 isn't ready yet. So this would be pretty much just like a tinkerer's project if you want to try it out. Even Black Seraph said that right now, if you want to use the 35X Plus to stay on stock until Garlic gets those updates. But yeah, if you guys want to see it, there is definitely going to be a guide pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned for that, as well as more content and Zoo and our writers. You'll see lots about this little guy right here, and then any OS developments, not only from Garlic, but there's other developers like and the Creaky custom firmware, Mustard OS. I'm sure I'm forgetting one, but there are a number of operating systems I'm sure we're going to see ported to this.
Mm-hmm.
But the stock experience this time around is not too bad.
No.
Yeah, you have different backlight levels here. So we have lowest to highest. And we were hearing that it's not quite as bright. I don't know if I have battery life in this one right now. It's been a few months.
Yeah, see, I have battery life on mine. I'm going to turn it on real quick. So I was trying to find a game to actually do that comparison.
Hey, Roof Cooper comes in clutch here.
You know, what I am seeing, the old screen might be brighter, but the color on the new one is better.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is bright. It is brighter. So let's... If we were to even it out, maybe if I do that, that's the exact same. So they're just one higher level. So I wonder if this gets dimmer as well. Let's see. I think the dimness level is the same as far as I can tell by the eye here.
We're not gonna play.
There's game. I'm noticing that there's games separately on the external, and there's also games on the internal. It came with here.
Yeah, that was weird. I wasn't.
There's different, and there's a different selection of games, but some overlaps as well.
Yep.
Let's see. Do we just have classic Tekken? Okay, Tekken 3 and Tekken 3. Let's do that.
There you go.
Not doing so well.
So I have the same screen right now set up, except I have one vertical and the other one isn't set up like that yet. But you can see the color differences here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. Yes. This is a good like for like. The black levels are better on the plus. And as far as color goes, I don't know, man. I just, maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, but I might slightly like the original, or they're actually, the exact same.
Now that I match the colors. Now see, in person, this looks a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
On the camera's just blowing it out because that cameras do that with light. So it's kind of one of those.
Well, just drop it to a lower brightness if you want to.
If you want to get it deeper. Both of them even lower. That's as low as they both go.
Okay. Well, now the plus is definitely brighter, but dude, it's so. I mean, I think it's the same screen. I think we're playing tricks on each other here.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it looks maybe sharper and slightly boosted saturation a little bit on the plus.
Really, it's hard to tell. So I don't think it's even going to be a factor.
The contrast is a little bit different.
Yeah. In person, I guess I would like, just me looking at them, I think I like the new screen a little bit more. But when the brightness is adjusted on both, it's really hard to tell.
Bezels retrospect mentioned here. Bezel is a little bit smaller on that new screen. Slightly though. That would tell me that it's a different screen.
I don't know if it's smaller or just a different color though.
This is what we need to do. Okay, that's 4 millimeters. Right there.
Well, yeah.
And we need to bring this down to right there. This is 3.5.
No, a little bit more.
A little bit less, like right there.
I'd say a little bit wider, actually. It looks like you're cutting into the plastic part.
Okay, yeah.
Open it up more. A little bit more.
There? Right there.
Yeah, it's about there, 3.51.
So 3.5 versus, what'd we say, 4.6? There's people out there who want to know this stuff, though. I noticed that more over time. More and more we get questions of these particulars, and it's like, well, you know, if we have the ability, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yep.
7.8. Get an ambient temperature read right now. 67.8. This is clocking in right now. It's been on a little while. We haven't really been pushing it too much yet. So far, we have temperature read at 77.5, and battery is still almost full. Let's play some games. So there's two options here. So we have RetroArch.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have your option of TF1, TF2, or so there's all cores, or you have standalone emulators. So standalone, you get PSP, PS1, arcade. Believe it or not, for standalone, there's quite a few options here. No, actually, I was going to say, is there DS here?
No, that's over on the RetroArch side, which is what I was saying was weird because it opens drastic instead of RetroArch.
Oh, they just haven't misrouted. And so here, this is nice. It looks a little bit more like a front end. You get scraped system art, and you get, of course, some scraped art there. You are going to want to take off these games and just put on your own if you get this, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, if for someone, a relative or someone, you can just hand them this and say, here you go ahead and enjoy it as is. But would recommend loading on your own ROMs.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get to games too, let's take a quick look at the settings. So battery information, we have a lock screen option, brightness, of course. If we want to do a quick I/O test, if anyone's curious, we are getting everything registering. Even the menu button. And look at the pivot, though, the D-pad. Like, this is a very clean pivot all the way around. You get 8 directions.
Somebody was asking about boot up times in the original versus the new one. I have Garlic installed in my original, so that's not really a fair comparison.
We could do it here if you want. So let's do this. Let's time this. We have a timer. Someone have a timer? Stock versus stock. This is a fair comparison.
You tell me when.
1, 2, 3. Ooh, oh, original wins. Original wins.
By a pretty good amount.
By a good amount. Oh, 26 seconds.
Even though with the longer boot up time, I would still take this new stock OS over the original one.
Would you? Well, I mean, so this one has GPU access. You get access to that dual core GPU, and so that's why we're able to push these higher end systems. Not only that, but the CPU is faster too. This is really the best of the bunch right now for the price point.
You also have RetroArch, which is huge for me.
You have full access.
We didn't have that in the original one.
You didn't, yeah. And so now you get mostly full access. It's not completely full access because there's some things, at least I couldn't find all the settings that I wanted, but we'll take a look. But you can, of course, connect Bluetooth devices, at least controllers right now, so we can try that. Network, so we do have a network Wi-Fi connected here. We have Moonlight to connect to Steam if we want. You can change your icons. That can be fun. Different backgrounds.
You can turn off the annoying menu sounds.
You can turn off the atrocious menu sounds. You can customize your buttons and shut down and reboot. So it's cool that you have Wi-Fi. You can use this even if retro achievements don't become a thing right away. You can use this for net play. So if we have two of these next to each other, or this and any other device with net play on your home network, or even outside your network, if you configure the settings for it, you have a multiplayer stew going. It's good times.
Moonlight is also pre-installed, so you should be able to stream to it
pretty easily. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to try RetroArch first or standalone?
Let's go standalone.
Okay.
I think that's the what's going to kind of set it aside. Yeah, because we're familiar with RetroArch. We kind of know what that's doing.
Yeah. So Jeff, you should be able to trade Pokemon now. That's what this means.
Mm-hmm. I think it also has a clock, so the Pokemon game should work.
Yeah, because you can use MGBA.
Is that using frame skip
for Mega Man? I don't think so.
Yeah.
This is one of the easier to run games. I mean, I think it has an auto frame skip at 1, but I don't see it coming into play. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's just, you know what? Let's just turn it off. I think Mega Man. I'm confident Mega Man might be able to run full speed without frame skip.
Should be able to.
Because it looks so fluid. I don't know.
Yeah. Most 2D games should be able to run without much of an issue.
Yep, we're getting full speed here.
Okay, there's no way this game is going to run full speed without frame skip.
This, Ridge Racer? No, this one, well...
There's a setting you can turn off that gives it like a big performance boost. Maybe that's off, but I can't remember what it's called. I think it's the one that handles like the reflections and all that.
Need to get good.
Wow, actually, looks like it's running pretty smooth.
Yeah, let's see though. Is it tricking us? Is frame skip on?
No, it's off.
Frame skip's off. Oh.
See, that's the thing. I'm not really familiar with this chip. Like, I wasn't expecting
this is a new chipset. Yeah, I'm so used with 3326 devices, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's some slowdown. See, that's why you're going to want that.
Mm-hmm. I would still say, though, if PSP is something you really want, this is not going to be the one for that. I could see this being good for, like, PSP RPGs. Just something small you can carry around, but... I would still prefer a 16:9 screen for anything PSP.
Yeah, and with Ridge Racer, it looks like in the end you are going to want to turn on a frame skip of 1, which is normal for Ridge Racer. It's that's what I was expecting. But most 2D games, yeah, it looks like you should be able to leave that frame skip off, and it does look like it's not per game configuration for PPSSPP. Oh,
there you go.
It's dude.
D-pad first, then the button. D-pad first, then the button. Remember that.
D-pad first, then the button.
Then the button, yeah. Punch. It's the punch button, not the kick button.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
We're doing it.
There you go.
All day, nothing.
And then
but
if you have enough,
I
can't tell how much energy you have, but if you want to do like the special one, you have to do it twice. Down, down, right, twice, and then the punch button. So do the D-pad movement twice, and then the punch button.
Dude, I'm doing hadoukens. I mean, that's...
You are. But now you have to do the D-pad movement twice, like 2 times in a row, and then punch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, like that. There you go.
Dude.
Nice.
Now I've earned the right to wear this shirt. Let me just say. Okay, this is very exciting. Eric, sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion. Okay, now
yes, I'm very surprised with the PSP performance.
Can we push it harder? Like, what other... Is there a harder to run game on?
They didn't really put any hard to run PSP games, but just kind of
they're fair.
Seeing how those games perform, I would think you're going to be able to run most PSP with some minor hiccups here and there.
Dude, Tekken 6 is kind of a monster to run. Let's try that.
Is it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's 3D rendering a 2D game. Hey, Ra, I used to be way worse on fighting games, man. Like, you're seeing peak skills right now. I'm just saying. So I'm proud of myself. I don't care what.
Hey, Street Fighters is hard for somebody that never played Street Fighters. There's
Tekken's
a little bit of
game.
a learning curve there.
Tekken's my game.
Oh, yeah, this one really needs the frame skip.
This needs the frame skip. So now we're pushing to the edge of the chipset, which I'm happy to finally find a game to push it. So let's do this. Let's do frame skip 1 and see what we get.
Do it, yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get full speed on this either, but maybe. way smoother.
Yeah.
Son of a...
Yeah, so that higher tier of PSP games is
What?
just going to be out of the question. Unless you're okay doing like a 2-frame skip, which
No.
I'm not. Like
There's
1 is
other...
my
No.
max.
There's other things you can do though. You can do sure leave. I don't ever go beyond frame skip 1. It's just not worth it. It gets so disruptive. You can do things like skip the GPU readbacks, skip buffer effects, that lazy
Quality
texture
takes
caching.
a big hit.
Well, it depends per game. Not always.
That's true. Well, that's true. That's true.
You know what takes a big hit, and what would help the most, of course, is...
You could also... Oh wait, this is on
no,
Linux.
You're right. Buffer effects is the one that
actually...
I'm thinking of that does make it big. But if you
can...
so maybe don't do that one, but these other ones. Okay, so we're still struggling here. So I'm going to try that. The biggest change you can make for performance is going to be that skip buffer effects, which you're right. That is the option that will mess up graphics pretty hard, especially on God of War.
Yeah, the sky's gone.
But I bet you this is going to give us full speed right off the bat.
I mean, it's smoother. But...
yeah, we're getting some frame skip still, but it is definitely smoother. That's the biggest change you can make. In some games you can turn on skip buffer effects and you have no issues visually. But especially on the 3D heavy games, you might see some big changes. You might be missing textures. You might be getting some funky backgrounds.
There's a pretty good chance that with custom firmware, we're going to see a lot of these games run a lot better. Because traditionally, Anbernic isn't the best at optimizing the actual performance of the device. Like you usually get like an OS that's functional, so you can kind of do the day-to-day stuff. But to really squeeze everything out of it, you should probably wait and see what Garlic's going to be able to do, or Koriki, I think it's called. There's going to be a few options for it, so we'll see there. Still, though, this isn't going to be like a good fit for PSP in my mind.
And let's take a look at the speakers on our next game test. Do you want to try Dreamcast? That's the other one.
I was playing Crazy Taxi on it, and it was nice. It was the resolution wasn't what I would have liked, and I played it on RetroArch, but the game was playing smooth, and the audio was great.
Let's take a listen to those speakers. There you go, YouTube algorithm.
Crazy Taxi Tube. It's party time.
The speaker sounds the same to me as the old one.
All right, let's go. Go ahead and pick your own driver down the gifts. Go easy.
Battery's looking great still, though. As far as temps go, so let's see if we've got any change.
Crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go.
This game's never given me issues, though. I don't know.
Okay. No, I mean, the speakers, it's not the Steam Deck, but I don't think the speakers is anything anybody would complain about.
Yeah, you get a mono front firing speaker here. And it sounds good, but the speaker, again, is never something that I've focused on these, especially on these style verticals.
No.
What was cool to see is that you have things like PICO 8 preloaded on the SD card.
I saw that, yeah.
So you can jump straight into Celeste and not have to mess with anything. I'm a little disappointed that as far as the game list goes, they didn't include any N64 games.
Yeah, N64 is going to be a hard sell. Although, I guess after playing the ARC, I'm surprised how many N64 games actually play pretty well with the D-pad if you map everything right. But you don't really have enough inputs for everything here.
The one thing that I can't wait for Garlic to get to a more workable state, because I miss Garlic 1.4.9, where you have these crazy fast transitions between environments. This is so much slower between games, boot up time, that I know that a lot of people are going to stick with the stock OS. And while I think it's fine, I think Garlic is still going to be where it's at, but not yet.
Yep.
I know it's going to get way more optimized. So
yeah, we're probably going to have to wait until after the holidays to really see those updates, but they're coming. And when they do get here, it's going to be the better experience. And it will have PSP and N64 and all of those systems on there too.
Let's do DS too. You see this? They included some DS games.
Yeah, they did. I tried a couple. It was weird.
It's kind of a strange device maybe to play DS
couldn't
on.
Figure out how to control the cursor.
Right. Yeah. How would you? No touch screen. Plus, there's no analog stick. So you're going to be stuck with certain, just particular games.
And it's the drastic version, like the standalone emulator. So be careful if you go in there and mess things around, because if you do mess up the way it's configured, you're probably gonna have to plug in a keyboard and try to reset all that stuff. That's what I hate about that drastic version. It's in there though, and it'll play the games. I don't know how many games you'd actually want to play on here, but
well, maybe Lego Star Wars 2. We'll just use the buttons. Let's try it.
I'm sure there's a way to do it because they're doing it on the Mio Mini. There's probably like a button you can press to get the cursor to move with the D-pad. I didn't have enough time with it yet, so my opinion might change. Pokemon games should be pretty good on here though, which you're not going to get those games pre-installed in this SD card anymore. Most of these companies are trying to stay away from like the big first-party Nintendo games like Pokemon and all of those. You're not going to see that. Yeah, especially Anbernic. Even Palkitty's doing it. So if you are somebody that wants those games on these handhelds, and you better start learning how to put them in there yourself, because you're not going to be getting them anymore.
Okay, so so it is a standalone drastic. You're right.
Yeah.
But we want to. I'm afraid to change any of this. We'll just leave it like this for right now. Seems to be full speed though.
Michael Benny's saying drastic is on garlic. Do you mean garlic? Oh, garlic or onion? I know it's on onion. I wasn't aware that Black Seraph added drastic to garlic yet.
Yeah, I thought he needed to finish the GPU acceleration stuff.
He said there was a few things that needed to happen before he actually started adding those. So, okay, yes, someone say that it got ported by somebody else.
Oh, there you go.
That's the cool thing. We're gonna start seeing a lot of those updates.
Thing. Yeah, it's up on GitHub, so anyone can help out.
Yeah. Right. If anybody in here hasn't seen our live stream with Black Seraph, there's a new one that I uploaded that's just a section talking to Black Seraph about what Garlic's doing, how you guys can help if you want to get involved in any way. It's right there. I edited down to 35 minutes. It's definitely worth a listen. So if you haven't done that yet and you're interested in this stuff, go give that a watch.
It was almost like watching a brand new, stream almost, because you took out all of the fluff. You just left the stuff. And you just focused it, in on the Black Seraph aspect. So that was cool. So we're doing those, and Aish is doing those for some of our major live streams now. So anything where we cover subjects like that, where we think it's a dedicated video, you're going to see more of that from us. This video, I'm sure, is going to have a highlights version. I can already tell that because I've gotten us off track at least 10 times. But it's Bean's fault. So everybody, there also is ports in here. And so it comes with a bunch of ports, Wolfenstein 3D, of course, Super Noah's Ark 3D. All right, well, that works.
Yeah, this is what I was saying about this new stock OS. It's not bad. It looks like Anbernic's actually kind of trying with their latest offerings, especially like with the Ark. I was surprised by the Batocera build in there, that it's not great. It's not anywhere near as good as a custom firmware, but it's probably the most usable ones they've had offered so far.
Someone's asking, does it play stereo via the 3.5 millimeter? Well, it's stereo. I mean, it's coming out of both speakers at different, there's little differences between the two. So I think it is stereo. It sounds great. It sounds huge. Way better than the built-in speaker. We also have open bore on here too, which is cool. And there is a rumble motor in here, and it feels nice. In fact, there's a test you can do for that. So if you go into settings and IO test, where's the button? Menu plus select. You can test the motor here. Take a listen. There's also this apps section in here, and you can turn bezels on or off. So if you have auto bezel on, then you'll get some interesting bezels on the side. I like having really clean interface, no bezels. I turn that off. Dark mode is not what you think. It is not simply turning on a dark theme. It actually dims the screen an extra like 40%.
I love that.
If you want to go in the dimmest setting and then play in bed at night, turn on dark mode in here. It's only for RetroArch, not for standalones, because it's just making use of a RetroArch shader, which dims the screen. And then you also have a quick power off, which I believe just means that it probably turns this into some sort of sleep function, or maybe it quits RetroArch faster. I haven't tried that option. You also have a history here if you want. You have a favorites list. Hit start on any game to add it to that list. You also have a search, which is really nice if you have a bunch of ROMs on here. Lastly, and this is the biggest thing to me, and I want to show this off, retro achievements. The reason I was the most excited for this handheld is for retro achievements, and I was bummed out, okay, that I couldn't do that on day one. So if we go to PSP standalone, and I was very excited for this. First, I'm like, okay, obviously this isn't going to have the version of PPSSPP that actually has retro achievements, but they did. Let's see, where was it? They did use that one. There it is, under system. Problem is, you can't type. So you go here, a name, and you can't enter anything. So that needs to be fixed. I don't know if you can do that via an INI file, but this was kind of a bummer. So that needs to be fixed. I don't know if we need to do that through a third-party firmware or if Anbernic can add that via an update soon. But please, my one ask is, we have Wi-Fi in here. Why the heck can't we just do retro achievements? I haven't seen too much talk about that yet. I really hope that that's addressed. That is my number one reason to upgrade for me from this to this, and that not being there is just personally for me a bit of a bummer. And so I'll be waiting on bated breath to have that feature available. In the meantime, yes, it's nice that we can do more performant gaming on here and all that. And there's improvements in pretty much every other regard too. It's just that I don't know that I would run out to spend the money on this yet. I think the software is so much more mature in this one that you can just boot it up and play and have a great experience all through and through. This still is just less of a headache. Right now, you are going to have to do some tinkering on this to get it to where you want it. It's a fun tinkerer's handheld from day one. Give it a few months and we're going to have a retro stew going, and this thing is going to be a banger. Really think that this will be a handheld to keep a close eye on through 2024. I mean, dude, I don't know. How do you feel?
Same. I mean, power-wise, it's probably the most powerful in this form factor.
Yeah.
I still don't know how you feel about that extra boost, just because the systems that would take the most advantage of it aren't really going to be very well suited for this form factor because of the analog stick.
Yeah.
But I guess if you also want to use it as a little home console, because you can do that, it's nice to have that. So I kind of have mixed feelings about that. But the upgrades to the battery, the Wi-Fi alone, to me, seem worth it. Even the better buttons. So if you were to get something like this and you wanted to get like the better buttons mod, well, that's going to be an extra 25, 30 bucks. And you're not going to have Wi-Fi, you're not going to have those things. So pretty much, if you're a fan of the 35XX, like it's your daily driver, you really enjoy it, and you just want a better version of that, yeah, definitely, it's worth it. If you don't really care about that Wi-Fi, if you're okay with the performance of what you're getting in the 35XX, then there's probably isn't that big of a reason to upgrade. It really comes down to the user. If you don't have any of them and you're kind of thinking, should I get the Mini Plus? Should I get the 35XX? Then definitely keep an eye for the 35XX Plus. Right now, the Mini Plus is more mature, so it's going to be a smoother experience. But in a couple weeks, this is probably going to be getting up there. So it's kind of, it really depends what you want.
35XX Plus at the $64 asking price is a good deal. I want the software side to get more mature. And you know it will. It always does. Remember last year when the 35XX came out originally? It was not there yet.
Not good.
It was not good yet. In fact, but we still liked it. We didn't toss it out yet.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there yet. There was something that we liked about it. We saw Garlic hit. We saw the Dual OS hit. And it's like, whoa. We saw the modding community go crazy in this, and we're going to see it again here, the modding community, because the price is right. We're going to see all those mods come in, and this thing is going to be so good. I think that's going to do it for us. Aish, any final thoughts on this?
No, I feel like we covered it. I like the device. I can't wait to really dig into it. Expect a review in the next couple of days, actually going in depth on this. Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I love the 35XX. I'm happy to see a new version.
Yeah, Raw, the false diagonals do appear to be fixed on this one. Definitely. So much better. I like it. I really like it, how it is now. And yeah, stay tuned for Aish's deep dive. It's going to be good. And then watch out for Zoo. He's going to come in with one of his Zoo reviews. Just be prepared for that. And Rocket on our team, Raven on our team, and Ban on our team. So we're going to have 3 written types of content on the website. Comparisons. It's going to be a 35XX plus Christmas.
Yeah, if you want to know about the 35XX, you're going to hear it from us.
And I'm going to talk to Anbernic about possibly donating one extra device for our Christmas and New Year's Eve live stream. So for that giveaway. So stay tuned. We do have a year-end giveaway where we give out a bunch of handhelds. And stay tuned for that one. We're going to celebrate. It's been a good year. Talk about the best handhelds of the year. Talk about the best games we played.
If you haven't subscribed yet and somehow you're watching this, go ahead and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all this stuff. Because we do make all these announcements and we go live about once a week, if not more.
Yep. And again, just thanks to everybody for watching. And special thanks to our patrons and subs. You guys are awesome for being here with us. I need to get this updated again. We're now in almost December, but thanks to everybody in the list here. And Aish, buddy, thank you for joining me on this live stream, man. This was a good one. This was fun. Well, this has been Stubbs on behalf of Mr. Aish here, wishing you all a very happy holidays coming up here. Stay warm, stay healthy, and also take care of your handhelds and each other.